Hello and welcome, friends. Another superhero portrait, because honestly, I had fun doing it. I am a big comic book nerd, so expect some more coming your way. If you enjoyed the content, give me a like. If you subscribe, you'll make my day. But now let's start. This time, we will draw Iron Man. I actually flipped the template because I wanted the character to look into the other direction than Captain America in my last one. Perhaps we'll do something with that, perhaps not. Let's go for variety. So this is how it went. So with this picture we have the technical attributes, of course. We do not only have the portrait, but we have the helmet. The helmet is something which is probably a little bit more forgiving than the face in terms of proportions. If you have some errors in there, it won't destroy your picture. So, I guess. Nevertheless, I tried to make it, to take it seriously. And you do not see it. The time-lapse is actually swallowing a lot of the mistakes I did and the parts that I had to remake to make it all fit, but there were a lot of mistakes and I had to fix a lot of things. As you can see, I concentrated first on the window in the helmet where you can see most of the face, and then I tried to put the face inside of it, just because it's actually more of a thing I'm used to concentrate more on the face, and the helmet was a little bit of an afterthought in the beginning for me. I changed my opinion pretty quickly when I started with the helmet. But for now I started with the face and some shading in here, as you can see, to see if I can get the similarity, because the similarity with the helmet definitely is easier than with the face. So I started with the similarity. As with the last picture, I think I like that technique. I started completely with the first layer done with my least dark pencil, so it is very uniform, it is not very rich in contrast. I this time did not press too hard, so I did not have any areas where I later had difficulties adding additional layers of lead pencil. So it went pretty well. So you see there is not a lot of contrast in there, so it seems still pretty flat. That will take a long time until I actually use the darker pencils, and there comes a lot more life into the picture. But I was pretty happy. You already see a little bit of a similarity, which normally takes longer. I think it's the mustache that I already drew. Of course, it's pretty iconic for Iron Man, for Tony Stark. Although it's not only the mustache, it's also the whatever you call it underneath the mouth. So. But you already have kind of a resemblance. I was very happy with that. So I had fun with this one before I started with the helmet and noticed how important it is. And we should be at any point in time now. Yeah. Now we're starting with the helmet, which is a completely different beast. I also try to be very careful with the shading, with the direction I use the pencil in, simply purely because you want to have it this metal characteristic, this less organic life living feeling, but more of a processed machine feeling. I'm not used to doing that. So this was pretty new for me, trying to get this very angular, very precise, more or less. So that was pretty new, pretty different for me. And it turned out pretty nice. So you see already the lines, it looks like it makes sense. There are a lot of areas, a lot of lines that you cannot really define very hard, because it's not a how do you say it in English? It's not really a two metal parts coming together in one point, but just some kind of mountain or valley inside of the shape of the metal. So you have to be careful to convey that and not let it look like there is a seam, an actual seam. And where there are seams, you have to be, as right there where we were just a second ago, you have to make sure to show, okay, there is an actual seam. So you have to have a distinct difference between those two elements of the helmet. And that was much more difficult than I anticipated, and took a lot longer than I anticipated. So I actually thought face much smaller in this one than with the Captain America one. We will be done quicker. That was a mistake. It took a lot longer to get to that point where I wanted to be. But still, I was only using the light pencil here, and I already decided quite early on that I will not do too much with the darker pencils on the helmet. To be honest, partly because I knew it takes so long. But also just because I wanted to have more of the contrast between face and helmet. And the helmet is is not very dark in general. It is a superhero costume. It's not a black costume. It's a red and gold costume. So it's pretty light. So with this metal plate stuff, you have to get the shading pretty neat in terms of where the shadows are, where the light is, because that is all the information you have for a direction, for material, for everything. Where the light sources are, that has to be pretty precise, or it just looks really fake. A face. The skin is a little bit more forgiving in that regard, because it does not reflect the light in the same way, and there are always discrepancies in skin. Skin is not perfect. If you have mistakes in there, it can still be believable because skin has mistakes in it. A metal plate, at least one that an Iron Man is using before a fight, does not have those mistakes. Not have those damages, and so you have to be very tidy. Here you see I changed to the darker pencil. I only used 3 different ones in this picture. I used the 4th one for few things in the end, but in general, most of the time, 3 different pencils. These 2 lead pencils, and then the Blackstone one that I used for the first time with Captain America, which you will see again, introduces real dark places in the picture for really great contrast. So I also did not overdid it with this pencil because I knew what was coming. So we'll probably start pretty soon. The dark lights, I called it sometimes in my stream, so not the highlights, but the dark lights, the darkest areas. For example, the eye in the helmet, which is black because it's not, the light in there is not on. So now you see that's the part where I did not use any other one because I knew that I would fill it in with the very dark one, with the dark stone. And you see how extremely dark it gets there. So you see very, very nice for all kinds of dark lights. You have seen a little bit of a jump there because honestly my camera died in between, so this is where we end. Okay, and this is the end result. I'm pretty happy. Something is, I don't know if I should do more of the shoulder area to give it a little bit more optical contact. But I like it. I like the contrast. I love the contrast again. I love this black stone pencil, and it just puts the life into the picture. So I love it. I hope you do too. If so, give me a thumbs up, perhaps even a subscribe to not miss the upcoming portraits. Also, ringing the bell would help with that too. Thank you very much for watching. It was great having you here, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.